Welcome back to Boostfad Academy Computer Tutorial Series. This is tutorial number 16, where I'll be discussing about copy, cut, and paste. So we will know the difference, how to copy a document or a file, how to cut and paste a document. That's what we will be consider in this tutorial. So let's open a document. So how do we copy a document? Let's look at these texts. Introduction to Microsoft Office. Now I want to copy these headings. So I want to have another heading here. So I want to have another heading after this second paragraph. I want to have the same heading. Instead of me to start typing again, a situation whereby you have a very large text. So instead of you to start typing the same text again, you can use copy and paste to do that. How do you do that? You go to the text. Like I said, you can say I click at the beginning of the text. So that's the reason why the cursor started blinking at the beginning. Then you click down you press down your shift button, then you use the arrow key to highlight. So you can see as I'm pressing the arrow key is highlighting. Then if I press down the arrow key, it will be faster. So you can see it has exceeded the heading. So I will use the back arrow key to move back. So I've highlighted the text. Then the next thing is to do what? You press down the control button, then you press C. We call it Control C to copy. So I've pressed Control C, I've copied it. There won't be any indication, but the computer has copied the text. Then the next thing, you now take cursor to where you want to paste the text. So you can see I bring the mouse pointer here. If I click, the cursor will appear here. You can see the cursor blinking, which means if I show paste now, that is where the text will appear. How do you paste? We paste using Control V. So if you have not mastered all these control keys, you can check out my tutorial on Control A to Z, where I explain each of the controls. So that's what we call copy and paste. I copy it, Introduction to Microsoft Word. I copy the heading, then I come to this side and I pasted it there, which now make it to have heading. So you can continue pasting. So let me come down after the last paragraph. If I press Ctrl V, it will paste. So if I press enter, go to the next line. If I press Ctrl V, it will paste. So that's how it will continue. As long as you continue pressing Ctrl V, it will continue to be pasting the text. That's what you call copy and paste. But if you are talking about cut means that I want to remove this heading here and I'm taking it somewhere else. Let's take, for example, let me delete the heading that I put here. So I highlighted, then backspace, I've deleted it. Let me press enter to create space. Now I want to remove this heading, Introduction to Microsoft Office, and I want to put it here. How do I do that? Like I said, you highlight, that is, I click at the beginning of the text. You can also use your mouse by clicking and drag. Now I click down my mouse, that is the left button, then I drag, so it will highlight. So to cut is Ctrl X. If I press Ctrl X, that title will disappear. I've pressed down the control. If I press X now, you will see what will happen. You see it disappeared. But if I now come to where I want it to appear, where I want to paste it, so I've clicked. After the second paragraph, you can see the cursor blinking. If I press Ctrl V, it will now appear there. You see, Introduction to Microsoft Office. So that is what we call cut and paste. It's not only here we can do that. We can also copy from other. Let me minimize the window. Now let's take, for example, let me open a picture. So let me open a picture. I've opened the picture. So I can also copy. You can use the same command to copy anything. Like this picture now, I've opened the picture. so it's still opening. So if I select the picture, so you can see the picture. So now if I just click on the picture, now press down the control, then press C, Control C, it has copied. You will not see anything, but just go to where you want to paste the picture. Now I'm back to my Microsoft Word. You can see the cursor blinking. So I want to paste that picture there. Press down the control button and press V. You can see the picture appears, so though very large because the picture size. So let me minimize the window. So you can see now we now have the picture using what? The copy and paste, which means anything you want to copy on the computer system, you can use the same command. You want to copy either from the computer into flash drive, you select the files, you select the folder, so then you press Ctrl C to copy, then you paste. This is a folder. If I open this folder, so you can see I have just one folder inside Bootstrap. Now I want to copy the Microsoft Word logo, the Microsoft Excel logo, the PowerPoint logo, and this image. I want to copy those 4 and paste them here. So you can select. You can see I've pressed what? I've selected the first one. Then you can press down the shift and down arrow but key to select, or you can also use mouse, just like I said, you click and drag it to select them. So I've selected. So in the situation where you selected and it's not up to what you want to select, press down the control and you can use your mouse to be selecting the rest. It will be selecting them. So if there is anyone you don't want to select, you want to deselect, you press down the control key, then you click on the icon. You can see it will deselect that image. You see it deselected it. If I click on PowerPoint, it will also deselected that one as well. If I want to select it again, while I still press down the control key, I can select them back. Now I've selected 4 files like that. So with the image, so 1 2 3 4, I've selected 4 items. So if I click Ctrl C, I've copied it like that. So then I will just come into the folder. You click inside the folder, then you press Ctrl V. You can see paste. You can see I now have Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and the scan image. The 4 of them now inside the folder I created. That's how to copy file from one place to another, how to copy text. So the same thing happens if I want to remove some of them and I want to return them to the screen. So all I just have to do is to select. If I select, let me select these 2. If I press Ctrl X, it will cut. You can see the 2 of them faded. Then if I come to the screen and I press Ctrl V, I already have them. So let me use, so because I already have those image having that same name, so let me compare. So you can see I've replaced them. So the 2 of them disappeared from this place and now appear on the screen. That's what cut and paste is about. It will remove it from one place and put it into another location. So that is all about how to copy and paste a file. So in the next video, I will be discussing about bold, italic, and underline. How do we bold a text? How do we italize a text? And how do we underline a text? So which means we are moving on to text formatting gradually. So once again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it with others. So until the next lesson where we will be meeting, I said bye for now.